if anybody's watching from there. And yeah, we're doing another midweek mindfulness. So thank you for joining me. Take a seat or lie down, get comfy. So the usual sort of meditation mindfulness pose is seated, and you can do it in a chair or on the floor on a cushion. Try to, if you're on a cushion with crossed legs, try to have your hips above your knees. So it might take a bit of playing with, but you want your hips sort of literally higher than your knees so that your pelvis is tilted forwards. And sort of take some of the pressure off your lower back. And you end up with sort of 3 points of main contact, your buttocks, and then each knee is like a triangle of support. If you're sitting in a chair, then try to just have your feet flat on the floor, about hips width apart, and sit forward up off the back of the chair so that you're sitting up straight. So let's start with 3 sort of deep breaths. We have 3 large, deliberate, deep breaths in through the nose. Try to fill your lungs as full as possible. And then out through the nose, and empty your lungs as much as possible. So deliberately really try and push the diaphragm and the ribs and empty every bit of air out of your lungs, and then breathe in again. And this is my sort of little addition to the centuries of mindfulness practice, because I feel that it really centers me, oxygenates the blood, really gets my mind very directly into my body, where I'm focusing deliberately on these 3 big deep breaths. It sort of centers me and brings me home to my body quite quickly. Now let's do a body scan, a little different to what we did last week. We scan from our toes and just gradually up both feet at a nice steady pace, almost like we're in some sort of medical scanning device where we're lying flat on our back, and you can sort of imagine the machine scans at a nice steady slow pace up our legs. So just use your mind to focus on this beam of mindfulness, I suppose, as it creeps up your legs, up your shins. And as it reaches your knees, just it bends and turns over your knees, and continue scanning your body up your thighs. And as it reaches your hips, it curves around your hips. And now focus on the back half of your torso as this same sort of scan rises slowly up your spine, the back of your torso, as it reaches the middle of your back or your shoulder blades. Keep going up to your shoulders, and now down both arms at the same time, scanning over our shoulders and down our upper arms, down past our elbows, forearms, down to our hands. Once you get to the fingertips, just scan back up now, up your fingers, hands, forearms, up around our elbows, continuing up to our shoulders, and now up the back of our neck, and the back of our skull, right up to the crown, and over the top of our head, down our forehead, past our eyes, down our nose, mouth, chin. And that's half a body scan in this style, so we go back all the way down to our toes, scanning our chin, mouth, nose, eyes, up our forehead, over the top of our head to our crown, down the back, down our neck, to both shoulders and down our arms again. Keep going all the way down our arms to our fingertips. And once we reach our fingertips, we immediately turn around and start going back up our arms, past our elbows, up to our shoulders. We meet at the back between our shoulders, and then now we go down our spine, down past our shoulder blades, all the way down to our hips. We follow the curve of our hips down our upper legs, our thighs, falling over our knees and down our shins, to our toes. And let's repeat that now one more time, and we'll add in a few more things. So as we climb up our legs, we're checking our posture, and we're giving gratitude to our legs for the work they do for us all day long. So check that your feet and knees are shoulder width apart as if you're sitting in a chair. Check that your legs are relaxed, not too cramped up under you if you're cross-legged. Once you curve around your hips, following up your spine, we check our posture, that we're sitting up straight, but not too rigid or stiff. And as we climb up our spine and our back, again we give gratitude for this part of our body that brings us sort of the energy, allows us to have fire in our belly, so to speak, energy in our veins. Standing upright gives us energy. As we roll over our shoulders and down our arms, we check that our shoulders are pulled back a little, just a little, and relaxed. And as we scan down our arms, we give gratitude for our arms and our hands, again for doing a lot of tasks for us throughout the day. And we check that our hands are just resting comfortably somewhere in our lap, usually with the palms facing upwards. And this allows our shoulders to open up a little. And maybe our thumb tips are just gently resting on each other. And we scan back up our arms, all the way back up to our shoulders, where we join at the neck and continue up the back of our head to our crown. And once we get to the crown, we imagine a tiny piece of string just trying to lift us towards the sky. And this keeps us nice and straight and tall as we scan over our forehead, over our head, down our forehead, past our eyes, which are either half closed, and we have a soft gaze on something about a meter in front of us. We're not really looking, we're just letting our gaze fall gently on something in front of us. Or our eyes can be completely closed, either one. Scanning down our nose to our lips. Our lips are just touching, very gently touching. They might even be a tiny little bit open. And our tongue is resting behind our top teeth. And as we scan down to our chin, we tuck our chin in a tiny little bit, which pulls our head back to rest over our shoulders. And again we can scan back down the other way. Chin tucked in, mouth, tongue, nose, eyes, soft gaze or closed, forehead, head, crown lifting to the sky, back of our head down our neck to our shoulders which are relaxed and pulled back a tiny bit, down our arms, down to our hands which are falling gently in our lap, and then scanning back up our arms, giving gratitude for our arms, and down our spine, down the back of our torso, keeping that nice and tall and giving gratitude for that which works for us all day long. Rounding around our hips, down our legs, checking our posture and giving gratitude for these that carry us in whatever capacity, and finishing up on our toes. I'll be quiet for a moment and let you do a few body scans in your own time. As we scan, we just check in with our body, with our posture, and send gratitude to that part of our body for all the work it does for us. If your mind should wander from your body, just bring it back. When you become aware that you're thinking of something else, just bring your mind back to your body and start these scans again from your toes. These scans are meant to be relatively quick up your body, because you're checking in just with your posture mostly, keeping your focus on your body and sending gratitude to that body part. We're not really looking for sensations like we were in the other body scanning method. We're just sending our gaze, our mindfulness gaze, over our body. you can send your gratitude in smaller or larger moments, larger body parts. So if you want to thank every individual finger and thumb, and then each hand, and then each arm, or even each part of your arms, that's okay. If you want to thank every ear, each eye, nose, mouth, lips, you can do that. It really is enough at this stage to just thank our whole head, all of our arms, including our hands, our back and our legs. This is an excellent practice to do at the beginning of any sit, any mindfulness practice you might want to do. It would be good to start with this one for just a few moments, a few scans. It really brings you home to the here and the now, and to your body. From here you can move on to other techniques if you wish, or you can just do this for as long as you wish. This practice also very much helps you to sit still. Because your mind is always on your body, you really notice what's happening in your body. So doing this practice regularly will develop your abilities to sit very still. And once you have the ability to sit still without moving a single muscle, you can really start going deep into your mindfulness and leave your body behind. top of developing your ability to sit still in the correct posture. This technique builds your gratitude. Gratitude for self, which will extend then to gratitude for everything else. Gratitude is a powerful feeling. Which, if exercised regularly, can overcome most feelings of sadness. I'll invite you to take a mini break there and attend to anything that urgently needs your attention. Stretch or scratch the things that you've been ignoring up till now. Mini breaks are almost as important as the meditation practice itself, because it allows you to attend to any urgent needs and then rededicate to another solid bout of sitting without pushing through pain or pushing through anything that might distract in the long term. So a mini break should be just that, very short, 5 or 10 seconds at the most, and then return to another dedicated bout of sitting. Here I'll invite you to turn your attention on the next body scan. Stop at your ears. So as you're scanning up your arms and over your shoulders and up your neck, just rest on each ear and turn your attention to what you can hear. So whenever a sound comes into your ears, just think to yourself, hearing, hearing. Try not to label that sound as anything else. So no longer is it a dog barking, it's just hearing. No longer is it a car driving past. It's just hearing, hearing. So if we don't label these sounds that we perceive, they stay in the realm of just sound. Not good, not bad, not annoying, not pleasurable, not anything. Just sound. And if there is no sound, we rest and wait for the next sound. We quiet our mind. We don't think, I wonder what sound will come next. Will it be a quiet sound, a loud sound? We just wait in stillness, calmness, curiosity. There may never be another sound. As we hear the sound of the singing bell, hold on to it. Hold on to it for as long as we can. Think to ourselves, hearing, and we're just listening. No labels, no value, no judgment, just hearing. And you can do this with any sound at all that reaches your ears. Finally, for tonight, I'd ask you to try to find the end of each sound. So as you hear the next sound, still keep thinking, hearing. Try not to label it or identify it, but hold on to it and try to pinpoint the very moment that sound is no longer. So the opposite of what we were doing a moment ago when we were resting in the quiet, just waiting for the next sound. Here we are abiding in the finish, in the no sound, in the non-existent So as you hear, hold that sound, follow that sound to the very end, and then rest in the emptiness. And when the next sound breaks that emptiness, hold on to that sound. Follow it. Hold it gently, lightly, and follow it all the way to its conclusion. And then rest in the emptiness of no sound. So there are two moments when true mindfulness can be obtained. In the waiting for the next to arise, and in the abiding of the sensation, cessation. Tonight we've practiced both. As the sound fades away, we just sit and wait for the next sound to arise. Curious anticipation. Not longing, not urgently needing another sound, just patiently waiting for the next arising sound to greet us. And then as that sound ceases to be, we just fall maybe, abide, rest in the conclusion of that same sound. And here we can rest without any anxiety, without any anticipation, longing or clinging, desire. In both of these places we're just waiting and resting. Letting be what is. So with that, you can bring your attention back into your space, back into your earthly life. Open your eyes and stretch. I thank you for joining me again on Wednesday Midweek Mindfulness. I'll try and be here every single Wednesday at 8 o'clock and give you some guidance, but feel free to do this on your own as much as you can. Remember, if you don't have time to meditate for 15 minutes, then meditate for 30 minutes.